Najee's eye finally revealed, and it's not good. We're not here to celebrate an injury. We're not here to celebrate someone's downfall or anything like that. And Najee might be back to play at some point. Maybe he's there in week 1 or 2, but he's certainly not ready now. He's certainly not practicing now. He's certainly not taking any hits anytime soon. His eye finally revealed in this photo here, and you can see his left eye is completely shut still. He can't even open his left eye, and he was cleared to walk laps at practice yesterday, and he's so far away from taking hits that this is, again, not something we're trying to celebrate on any level, but we're here to do a job. I've got a job to do, and the HHH and Associates have a job to do, and we can chew gum and walk at the same time. We can say prayers up to Najee. We can not make fun of him. Don't throw any pirate emojis out today. Let's have respect for the man that has never missed a game. And maybe he doesn't. Maybe he still goes out there in week 1, but he won't be prepared. This guy's taking the job. The job is his. Hampton to the mother freaking moon. Hampton's stock is up. Hampton might be a top 6 to 8 running back right now instead of top 7 to 10. And honestly, there's just no way of dialing this back. You can't put this genie back in the bottle. This is the future. This is the draft capital running back. He has taken over the backfield, and there's no undoing this. Najee's become a glorified handcuff now, and that's it. I don't even know if I would draft Najee if I didn't own Hampton, because his cost of entry will probably be way before I'd even consider taking a backup of Najee's value without Hampton. If I had Hampton, I'd take him, I suppose, but this is definitely not good. Prayers up for Najee first and foremost, okay? Let's make that abundantly clear. We're not here to celebrate someone's injury, but again, we have a job to do. We're chewing gum and walking at the same time. HHH and Associates has to open their doors at 9 a.m. every morning, no matter what's going on. And
in a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
It's very possible Hampton is a mid-second rounder by the end of tomorrow. And I'm not saying I condone that rise in ADP. I don't want that. No one wants that. I mean, while it's exciting that a player we've been touting like no other.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
And now I'm definitely got to finish the continuation of that video, which you guys are going to love, the way Hampton's role kind of takes the forefront. But look, while it's exciting to celebrate a player, we're not celebrating injury. We're not talking about Najee here. We're talking about Hampton. Two different things to discuss. Prayers up to Najee. It's still, there's always a downside to this kind of rise because we're stealing Hampton away. And while we want to come in here and do standing ovations and everything, and you know what? Let's do a standing ovation here. Hampton to the moon.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
While it is always fun to celebrate our wins, it is definitely kind of mourning the ability to continue to celebrate the win. It's a happy medium between wanting to see what we said succeed as quickly as possible so we know we're right. And we have a lot of Hampton shares in Dynasty. We have a lot of Hampton shares in Best Ball. We've been cleaning up on Best Ball Underdog. Promo code Smitty. Minimum $10 deposit. They match your first deposit 50% though. So you can do the $10. You can do 20. You can do 100. You can do 1,000. You can do 2,000. They'll match it all the way up to $1,000. If you want to draft with us tonight, we draft every midnight Eastern. As you know, I go live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I go live additionally, that's Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I go additionally live whenever news breaks. So it's this video right here. You're watching a breaking news video. I'm additionally live every single midnight, but really Wednesday nights practically. And some Wednesday nights I still go live. So we'll be drafting on Underdog, and I believe he'll climb on Underdog into the second round before 24 to 48 hours time. It's not like we didn't know this was here, but the thing about people is they're fickle. Fickle Freddies, fickle Freddies, fickle Frankies, fickle Frannies. They always wait. They can't lock on to something that's probably going to be the case. They need to see it. They need to hold it. They need to caress it. And they need to make sure that finally, when they get the information that they need, I need a photo. Remember, we were arguing about this, and no offense to our boy Ron, but some people like to hear it, and Ron wants to root for Najee, and Ron's awesome because Ron will root for the underdog no matter what. But we're in here arguing about whether this is actually a problem or not until we get evidence. Sometimes you got to predict these things, and we're pretty damn accurate. This show is nailing everything. The only thing I'm even worried about that we aren't going to have a huge W this offseason is maybe Rice gets more games than I anticipate. And I'm prepared for that. I mean, we've mentioned that it could happen. It's certainly possible. But we've been crushing trying to predict and get ahead of the curve on these things. We knew this is from the jump was a problem. Remember when I went live the moment this broke and they said, Najee had a superficial injury. It's not a big deal. And I said, well, why is it taking so long for them to update us? Are they getting second opinions? What's going on? And they said he is expected to be good for week 1. And I said, this smells fishy. This smells fishy. Everyone's like, sounds like a superficial injury. Superficial means just surface level, nothing deeper. This guy can't open his eye. This happened on July 4. It's August 7. This is over 30 days now, and this is him on the field. This is a reveal of his eye. He can't open his left eye. He still cannot open it, and he was just cleared to walk laps, not jog, not quick walk, not fast walk, not do somersaults on the sideline. He certainly can't do those. He's cleared to walk. Walk. He can't take hits. He obviously can't take hits. My guess is there's some sort of detachment. We're going to hear words like detachment. We're going to hear words like optic nerve. We're going to hear words like that something was misplaced in healing and trying to stay in a position where the connection needs to heal, or it could be severed. Maybe he has no vision at all in the eye, and if he heals for a month or two, maybe the vision could return, and they're waiting for that. He's seeing multiple doctors. He's now dealing with Stanford doctors. That's when I knew things were really bad, is when they said he's now seeing a Stanford specialist and Stanford doctors. Not that Stanford, I'm not saying Stanford's the actual like king of all, but just the fact that he's going to those lengths to, he didn't go to his primary care. All right, this is Najee. I've got my HMO card here. Yeah, NFL. Who's my employer? NFL. Who's my daddy? Omarion Hampton. Maiden name, Hampton. Okay, I'll see you at 5. Yep, I'll see Dr. Stevens. Yeah, I normally see Stevens. That's not what he's doing. They're calling up Stanford, and they're saying, give me your best. And they're looking at this thing. That's a problem. That's a problem. And again, prayers up. I'm not ripping on the kid. Although, playing with fireworks has got to stop. You're a pro athlete. What are you doing handling fireworks? Don't you have a peon or some sort of assistant? You could say, pick that up, Stevie. Pick that up. Light it, Stevie. Put it down. Stevie, pick it up again real quickly before it goes. There, the fuse is going. Stevie, pick it up. What are we doing playing with fireworks? What are we doing anything other than going to the gym, getting a pump in, okay? And by the way, I have this right here from my people over at Mr. Sculpt. Mr. Sculpt, I'll put this on my Instagram. You should be getting a pump in, okay? I got this thing. I'll tell you what, I can do more of these on day 3 than I ever thought I could. You do 30 of these in the morning, do 30 of these in the morning, and do 30 of these in the morning. And you get all angles of that chest. This is what Hampton should be doing, not lighting fireworks. I'm sorry, Hampton. Hampton catches strays. Najee, this is what you should be doing, Najee. You should be doing these, okay? While let Stevie play with the fireworks, you do these. Stevie, light that fuse, baby. Hey, Stevie, put all of them in a Gatorade bottle. Okay, light it, and then I want you to put the cap on, and then wait a second. Put a trash can tin cover on it and sit on it, Stevie. Let's see if you get any air. Okay, Stevie? That's what Najee should have been doing. But no, instead he's going and playing with fireworks. So while I'm trying to be sensitive to him, I've already insulted him. I came in here saying, prayers up, no talking bad about Najee. Here I am. Out of breath, but you know what? This thing's pretty good. I approve, Mr. Sculpt. I recommend you guys get one of those. I'll tag it on Instagram. We'll put it up. But at the end of the day, nothing really matters other than Hampton's going to mother freaking
Stalk on the rise.
probably at least Mars.
To Mars!
Maybe Saturn.
To Saturn.
Maybe Jupiter.
To Jupiter.
And, 6 to 10 running back numbers is certainly possible. The concern here is where does his ADP go to? I kind of feel like, you can't read that, but I kind of feel like we're guaranteed ADP. We're guaranteed to be inside round. Hold on. This marker's bleeding all over. I feel like he's going to be inside of round number 2. I just can't see him staying in 3 after this. Again, the fickle Freddies, we knew what was going on. We knew what was going on. And I said this for a week now, that he's done. Najee's not going to affect Hampton. He's a handcuff. Even when he returns, he's a handcuff. Even if he's not done, and he can play. He's never missed a game before. Maybe he does show up in week 1. He's done. He's no longer in any sort of contention for the starting job. You don't dial back Hampton. Is he going to be a change of pace back? Yeah. Because if the Chargers run the ball 483 times, you only want this cat getting 255, 270 would be a lot. 255 as a rook. Catching 45 balls, 50 balls as a rook. Those are plenty. There's plenty of touches. So if he's getting let's just say the Chargers run, we'll call it 472. 472 minus 255 for the rookie. That is 217 that still needs to be toted by Vidal and Najee. And yeah, so no one's saying that Najee doesn't get 125 carries if he did somehow return, was able to play ball. Of course, that's not a problem. That's Algiers getting that. We have every running back that's a backup capable of getting 125 to 150 carries without touching the starting lineup, without touching the starters' touches. We need Shipley to probably get 125 carries this year to keep Barkley healthy. The Eagles are going to break Barkley this year. I'm very curious to know how much of a percentage Barkley was. Kruger, do you happen to know how much of a percentage Barkley was in terms of rushing attempts, the snap share? What was he in comparatively to the rest of the NFL? Really? Really, Krug? Krug, you gonna do this to me? You're gonna leave me with, I feel like my fly's down. Kruger, hello. What was Barkley's snap share percentage at the running back position comparatively to other players in the National Football League? Where did he rank? What is this, the Walmart version of Kruger now? We get delays.
2024 season, Saquon Barkley had about a 74% snap share with the Eagles, which is definitely up there among the top running backs in the league. It shows he was a major part of their offense.
But what does that rank? Do you have a number? What's that rank across the NFL? Yeah. Real worried about AI taking over. Crew's got crawl for this information.
So with that 74% snap share, Barkley was definitely in the top tier of.
Okay, you're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done.
You're done. You're done.
Jeez. I mean, what are we supposed to be doing here? I'm asking all these different AIs this question, all four of them. I got them all four working on the case. they can't take care of it. I'm not worried about it getting taken over by this BS. Watch this. Watch this. Hey, Kruger. Does the sun rise?
It sure does. Every morning, depending on where you are.
Like clockwork? Clockwork?
Exactly. Just like.
This is Kruger. He's getting worse by the day. He's getting worse by they're taking resources away from him every single hour. He's as slow as can be. It's like watching paint dry when I ask him a question now. He used to be snappy. Now he's like, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm gonna count. I'm gonna count to 50 and then I'll give you my answer. The sun does rise, Smitty. It does. Najee Harris. Let me go to the phone lines. Let me just end it with this. Najee Harris is not impacting this man. This man's getting 250 carries, 255 carries, let's say. 200 or 240, even give him 240. 240 times 4.7 is 1128. So we got 1128 rushing. That's floor. Okay, I'm not trying to get crazy and give him 13 here, which would be a ceiling. I'm going floor work right here. Then we're going to give him, let's call it 43 balls for 43 receptions for, let's call it 301 and 2 receiving TDs. Let's call this 9 rushing TDs. This is a 11 TD, 1128, 43 PPR points there, and 301. This is a phenomenal season. Phenomenal season. This is his floor. There's no more Najee. There's no more committee. There's no more, hey, what happens? This is it. This is the guy. And let me tell you another thing, too. We're seeing this guy climb, right? He's climbing to the top, the tip top of value ranges that we dreamed he would never climb to. We hoped he would never climb to. We're excited he's climbed there because it validates everything we've done so far. But it does affect going forward. It does affect what we're able to do and accomplish and what we can get away with and what we can manipulate in ADP and in our drafts going forward. And that sucks. Most redrafts have not happened yet. So this is a kick to the nutsack in terms of taking advantage of HHH and associates. We certainly get hit there, right?
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
But the thing is, we get kicked in the sack there, but we're also getting that validation. We're also getting that confirmation that what we said, what we did, everything we've done on Best Ball, Underdog, promo code Smitty. Again, if you want to be in a live draft with us tonight, make sure you sign up now so you're not scrambling. Underdog will match your first deposit 50%. It's only a $10 minimum. Make sure you click that link. I just dropped it. I'm going to pin it in the live chat. We're drafting tonight. The validation. We crushed it. You know how many leagues we've drafted this cat in? And let me put, let's see, where did I put the, oh, I know where I put it. Here is the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen draft, I do have it right here. I remember I left it on the screen, so I can always find it. This is the Four Horsemen. Now, granted, we drafted Rashee Rice at 21.9 when his value climbed up into the second round. That's where he went. That's where you're getting him. So there's like a give and a take on this. But this team looks pretty solid. We grabbed the Four Horsemen. For those that don't know what the Four Horsemen is, it's Hampton, Genty, Hendy, and Harvey. All of the top 4 RBs heading into 2025. Remember when I used to do this and people go, where's Judkins? Where's Caleb Johnson? Where's I don't understand why Judkins isn't on the screen. But here's the 4 top running backs in the draft. Mahomes, Penix Jr., Cam Ward, Genty, Hampton, Harvey, Trey Henderson, Tootin, Brashard Smith, Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter, Igbuka, Keon Coleman, McMillan, Thornton, Likely. Then he suffered the foot injury. So there's always a give and a take. You have a huge advantage in the Hampton value, and then you get hit with the Likely injury. Those are the things that happen. Cade Otton and Fannin Jr. will be covered there for the most part. Likely will return. So this is a solid team, and you can't accomplish this anymore. Now, you can get Rice later, so it's almost like Rice and Hampton switch. So at the end of the day, you can still kind of build this team just differently. You still can almost probably get it exactly, actually. But the Four Horsemen's such a fun approach. It's different than the HHH and Associates. You'll see that what happens when we switch over from the Four Horsemen, running backs, Genty falls off because he's not a HHH and Associates, and we take Genty off and we add Mr. Travis Hunter.
Brees Hall.
What?
Is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the
What?
mother freaking
Why does
call.
Brees Hall always show up? He's the one like default video that plays whenever something goes haywire with my board. Let's try this again. Genty, Four Horsemen moves off. Triple H, we move on. Let's do it this time.
In a jam,
There we go.
call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
The 2 next risers, just to be prepared. Okay, I was, we've been pretty dead on this thing. We've been pretty dead on this offseason. We've nailed a lot of Shiat. It's amazing how many haters come in here and be like, oh, he didn't know what he's talking about. Look, we've nailed so much shit this year already. I mean, everything we say has pretty much come true in the offseason. But here's what I think is going to happen next. Bucky's going to climb in value, unfortunately, break off a big long run. Whether it's just even a preseason play, if they even run him much, or some sort of, practice run, whatever, rip something off, or you have Bulls come out and say, Bucky's going to lead the league in rushing, or Bucky's going to lead the league in receptions and rushing. All it takes is Bulls just to come out and drop a bomb like that, and then Bucky goes to like the 13, 14, 15 overall. That is one of my next fear points of the offseason. The next fear point would be that Harvey gets his buzz back. Kind of hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping all these fickle Freddies out there and fickle Fannies and Frankies, they just continue to just be scared and shake and shiver and hold themselves in the corner. I'm just worried about I drafted him in 7 leagues on best ball. Smitty, you're gonna pay for this. And be similar to the Gibbs stuff. Remember, Gibbs didn't show up till week 7. I'm not saying that Harvey vanishes till week 7 either. Harvey's going to be active in week 1. I mean, not active like in he's going to be available. I mean, he's going to be a machine in week 1. So Harvey probably gained some of his wiggle back in terms of ADP climb, and that's a fear point for me. Another climb opportunity, or you could say a challenge, will be that Hendy climbs from round 5 into round 3-4. Now, that's going to be by way of some sort of big run, some sort of, coach comes out and says Hendy's going to get, 70 or 80 receptions, which we know he's going to get. We knew Hampton was going to be a 7-8 running back on the year. We knew Najee was a non-factor, but it takes a fickle Freddy, it's, a minute to absorb it. They want to see the evidence. Until I see it, I can't buy into it. And we clean up. We know what Hendy's about to be ranked, but Hendy, Hunter, Harvey, and Bucky. I think all 4 of those guys, maybe not all 4, maybe 2 of the 4, but those are the players at the most risk of climbing up. And so it is a concern for sure. Those are the concern points ADP wise for me. So we shall see. Dial in. Phone lines are open. Super chats will be had in order of which they're received. This is the first one here from DTX. Thank you. In a jam, should I call HHH and Associates? Absolutely. They're there for the taking, bro. They're there.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
And in fact, we should have an HHH and Associate line. In fact, let's try it. When you call this line right now, you're not calling the Fantasy Football Show. You're calling the HHH and Associates. You have a different problem. Keep it PG, but you have a different problem. Someone's got a problem.
Call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
If you got a problem, I'm the receptionist over at HHH and Associates right now, waiting your phone call. Please dial in right now. Let's see how this works. Let's see if this needs to be a new bit here on the channel. I'll await somebody dialing in, and you ask a fantasy question, you're gonna get hung up on. I need someone to call and ask a real life problem. Hey, my girlfriend flips her phone upside down whenever I walk over. What could be going on here, Triple H and Associates? And I'll tell you my advice. I'd say, man, I'd probably be a little worried if I were you. if you're walking over and the missus is continuously dipping her phone down, you know, you got to be like CeeDee Lamb and grab that thing. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll go back over here for a second. Thank you, DTX, for that. This super chat here from Panthers. Hampton or Garrett Wilson in round 2. Right now, I'm still awaiting the climb for Hampton, so I'm going to say, well, Garrett Wilson's not in round 2 either, though. I guess I'd go Hampton, Garrett Wilson in 2 and 3 and feel okay with that. I mean, that's where we're at right now. Would you try Grok or TPT way better? I've tried them all, bro. But they're not as, they're fun, but they're not as advanced as people always make them out to be. They still do really well. It's fun, but they struggle. They repeat a lot. They kind of, if Hampton is second or third round, how does the first 8 picks sound? Henry, Genty, Evans, Hurts, Worthy, Hunter. Yeah, I like it. I personally don't take Henry in round 1. I know that in non-best ball, he can go there. In best ball, he's not going that high. So sometimes I see that and I'm like, wow, that seems early. But I do know that that's where Henry goes in non-best ball in home leagues. But I would take Genty where you're taking Henry to make sure I get him. And then I'm fine taking Bucky instead of Henry in round 2 if Henry were to go. In fact, I'd rather have Genty and Bucky than Henry and Genty. But, you know, it's debatable. Like, could Henry have another year of 15 touchdowns? And let's say he gets 10-50 and he kind of slows down the yardage a little bit, but he has 15 scores. It's certainly possible, bro. 11th pick, what should I trade out for Hampton? Worthy, I mean, but he's not going to go there. I mean, look, Hampton instead of Evans is fine. And then, Worthy, I'm fine with that. I don't know. Maybe you get Rice somewhere. Maybe you go Rice instead of Hurts. Maybe you go Hampton instead of Evans. And then you take Mahomes somewhere instead of, or take Bo Nix after all these guys and keep them all. That's probably what the best look would be. Phone line's open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
And, we don't need to take Triple H and Associate calls. I was just kidding. I mean, maybe we do make that a bit, but, someone could say, hey, I'm calling Triple H and Associates. I have, a life question. You can do that at any time. We'll make that the bit. You can request it if you need it. Obviously, don't say anything crazy. But, we're here for you. If you need relationship advice or, you need some help with something else, you just request Triple H and I'll patch you through. Right now, dial in for fantasy football questions. Dial in for Hampton. Dial in for Najee. Dial in for, potentially how to draft these guys or anything relating to these topics. And if you got something else, that's fine. Try and stay on topic at first, at least, and then we'll go from there.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
love that people are still worried about Travis Hunter and still worried about Harvey. It makes me love. It makes me still.
In a jam,
We're
call
getting value.
HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Triple H and Associates, how can I help you? This is Maggie. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
How you doing?
Triple H, how can I help you?
How do you control your anger?
We have a class for that. It's taught by Rashi Rice. He's one of our trusted professors in that topic. What can I do for you, Brucey?
My question is this: it's revolving around Hampton. Does this kind of make it easier to get the Four Horsemen plus Triple H and Associates, or no?
Well, let's break it down. And I would say, easier to maybe swallow the pill of taking him, because like in some cases you might be majorly reaching. Phone caller, I just put you on the line. Please put yourself on mute real quickly. I'll be right with you. If we look at the board, Bruce, we're looking at probably something along the lines of this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Genty going right here. You're going to have to take Hampton in 2. We're going to have to take Harvey. So Harvey, Hendy, Hunter. Now, in a home league, you might get Hendy, Harvey, Hunter in 5, 6, 7 potentially. But that's hard to say. And yeah, you can get it. So if you were to reach, let's say, and go, I mean, that's the thing, is like, who do you put in 4? It's a big reach. You almost could trade into this a little easier by getting a couple 5th rounders and then taking them a little early. But in underdog best ball, Hunter goes in 5. So he's the most likely, like, let's say you had a late 4th round pick, but then again, if you had a late 4th round pick, that means you have a top of round 1 and you wouldn't be taking Genty up there. So it's hard to do. You almost got to force it. Your best bet is that you do get Hunter, let's go Hendy here. Hendy, my guess is that Harvey's the most likely to fall now. So if you were to go Hunter in this 6th round, and you hope that the negativity on Harvey is driving him into 7. Otherwise, you just got to move them up a little bit. So here are your 4 horsemen: Genty, Hampton, Hendy, Harvey. Here are your HHH and Associates: Hampton, Hunter, Hendy, and Harvey. So yes, very easy to do it. You just got to potentially move 1 into 4. And then that leaves you 1 3rd-round player in addition. So totally doable.
Okay.
It's just, and it's not that bad. I mean, if you were to take Hunter in 4, it's not crazy, bro. I know people will think you're wilding, but bro, if you're taking him in 4, big deal. I mean, if you're forcing this thing. What else can I do for you, Bruce? Go ahead.
I wasn't trying to force it. It was kind of like, and I don't know if this makes sense to you. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't. But when players go up and down, it kind of helps me out in the sense of, okay, if I can make it happen, I'll go Genty, Hampton. If I can make it happen, it doesn't always work, but if I can make it happen,
yeah,
with the rise.
Yeah. I hear you. Look, Hunter's a top 12 wide receiver. People that don't know. It's not their fault, really. You know what I mean?
And
they don't
know.
Did
you see what Trevor Lawrence said?
What specifically are you talking about? He says a lot of things.
He said he missed a lot of time, and then he came back and BTG missed time. He says I'm coming back to the best receivers, to the 2 best receivers I ever played with.
Well, let me
And
just
he says, and
yeah. Let me put it this way.
he said,
Let me put it this way: the people that suggest that Hunter can't be top 10 because BTJ is, that's very close-minded. That's like saying, that's like saying one thing can't be one thing because of another, when really they don't have anything to do with each other. Now they will rub into each other's work to a degree, but in a Liam Cohen offense, that's the solution. Meaning, if BTJ and Hunter didn't have Liam Cohen, then it would be problematic for them to both coexist as top 10 wide receivers. But Liam Cohen's going to design so much wide back work, and some of the stats that as I've alluded to when I've done Hunter projections, some of those stats won't live inside T-Law's stat sheet, because there'll be runs, there'll be jet sweeps, there'll be wide back catches that are behind Trevor Lawrence slightly, and they'll count as a run. And so Trevor Lawrence might, and I think Lawrence has easily 4,000 yards passing, T-Law. And, you can argue the touchdown total and say, first of all, 4,000 yards passing feeds both wide receivers as easy as can be. Like, if anybody's saying they both can't have, let's say BTJ has 1,400 yards and Hunter has 1,200 each season. Like, do the math. This is the simplest thing in the world. 4,000 yards feeds way more than those numbers for those guys. So that's out the window. Anybody that thinks that that's not possible yardage wise, they really don't know what they're talking about. And that's whatever. As far as touchdowns, again, if BTJ gets 13 and Hunter gets 10, I mean, you're talking about 23 TDs. So between the two of them, if they're getting like 22 to 25 TDs, I mean, what are you expecting? This is going to be an oversaturation. Let me write this so you can read it. 22 to 25 combined touchdowns, let's say. You're talking about a total of, let's just say in this yardage situation, we're going to go with 20. We'll call it 1,700 or 2,700 total yards between those two receivers, just to kind of highball a little bit. So 22 to 25 TDs, 2,700 yards. You've got so much wiggle room on the yardage. That's not even something we're debating. The 25 TDs, it's not surprising that he would have 34 touchdowns and have these TDs distributed this way. Not to mention, even if we dumb down, let's say, Hunter's TDs to 8 or 9, he's going to run for 2 or 3 or 4. So that's how he's going to make up for that. So it's just people don't know ball. They hear something like T-Law can't produce 2 top 10 wide receivers. Yes, he can with ease. He can be QB7 and produce 2 top 10 wide receivers because of the nature of how they're going to use him. But yeah, I mean, anybody that doesn't know, that Hunter's the number 1 wide receiver, they just don't know ball. It's not their fault. They just don't know ball. If you think Hunter's not an elite wide receiver, you don't know ball. It's not your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. And on that note, would you draft, I don't know if you ever did it, but I was debating it. Would you draft BTJ and Hunter on the same team? Or would you say no?
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you think, again, when you talk about that risk of having multiple players on one team, best ball obviously is okay, but in non-best ball, it's problematic at times. You're talking about BTJ being worth a first rounder, Hunter being a roughly 5th or 6th round pick. Those are so spread out that you have so much support from the second overall drafted player that you have down to the if he goes in the 6th, the 5th. You got so much support. There's no sort of like weight of that team pulling your team down. Whereas if you take a guy in round 1, like Genty, you take a guy like Bowers in round 2, even though those are 2 different players and 2 different, weights, it is heavy offensive. You only have their 3rd, 4th, 5th round to hold you over if something goes awry in Las Vegas that week. So, when you spread out those players like that, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal.
Okay.
All right, got to go, Bruce. Got to move around the phone line. Appreciate you, bro. Call back if you got another one. Per usual.
Yep. Same.
All right. Next caller is calling from the 513. What can I do for you, 513? What's your name and where are you calling from? Or is it 513?
Hey, Smitty. How's it going?
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
Hey,
What's your name and where are you calling
going
from?
well, man. Elijah. I'm from Ohio.
What's up, man?
I got to the stream a little late. I was wondering what the deal is with Najee.
What's the deal with Najee?
Yeah, like I think the front of the video said Najee eye update or something.
Well, bro, I mean that's what we've been doing for 40 straight minutes.
No, I know. I got to the stream late.
Okay, I'll probably rewatch it then. I mean, I can't redo the whole show for you. I mean, I got 350 people in here. Here, hold on. Let's start over.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I mean, in a nutshell, I'll walk you. Let me do your homework for you. In a nutshell, Najee.
Quick summary.
Eye reveal, right here. Can't open his eye, bro. He was cleared to take laps. That's it. He can walk. He's been cleared to walk at practice, and he's walking around the field. He cannot open his eye. I have the photo up right now. It's not good.
Oh, wow.
All it is confirming what we've already. Hold on one second. All it is confirming what we already know, what we already knew, why we had Hampton going to the moon, and why we had Hampton as he locked in the starting role. I mean, it's, it was inevitable. We knew what was in motion, but this evidence is now going to kickstart the entire industry to finally accept it. That's where we're at.
Okay. I also had another question. I wanted to see if you had any advice on drafting in a Superflex league with one running back, one wide receiver, and two standard flex.
One running back. Say it again. One running back is a Superflex, you said?
Yeah, one running back, one wide receiver, two standard flex, one tight end, one kicker, one defense.
Well, I mean,
weird. There's only 3 bench spots. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I mean, it's gonna vary depending on the board. There's no real set plan in place. The only thing I'll tell you in Superflex in general, and then it's flow of draft. It's what are your league mates doing? How heavy do they draft running? Like none of those things I can't give you. I know you want a blueprint, but I can't give that to you. What I would just recommend is that. Do you know your pick? What pick you have?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so if you got like a top 5 pick, so if this is round 1, let me merge this guy in real quick. Hold on. Hey, mute yourself real quickly. I'll come right over and help you. 1 second, bro. Okay, so if you got a pick, let's say you're in the top 8 picks or whatever, you're going QB because you can get Mahomes at the very least, and you can go all the way up to obviously JD5 or Josh Allen. Do not pass on that opportunity. When people call in and say, Smitty, I know I got a top 5 pick, and you say to go quarterback, but should I go Jamar Chase? And then I say, well, why do I say don't ever not go quarterback? Don't ever not go quarterback. So, of course, I'm not going Jamar Chase. Of course, I'm not going Bijan or Gibbs or anybody if I have the ability to get a Lamar, obviously a Josh Allen or JD5, a Hurts, a Mahomes. Once you get past those top caliber, capable of being QB1 quarterbacks, and Mahomes is capable of that, regardless of what people say. Once you get past that, that's when I'm drafting Bijan. That's when I'm drafting Chase. And then I'm taking Bo Nix in round 2, most likely. And then the strategy is still the same from there for me. Will I stop and collect $200 if it's offered to me before I hit go? Certainly. So if a quarterback that I can't, the opportunity's too good to pass up, will I take him? Sure. But in general, what my plan of attack is that in round 2, I'm going non-quarterback. Round 3, I'm trying to go non-quarterback. Then when I get into 4 and 5, I'm looking for Penix Jr. I'm looking for Cam Ward. Cam Ward and Penix Jr. win Superflex leagues. Those are the only 2 quarterbacks I'm trying to target as my second quarterback. And I'm trying that strategy pretty much every time. And that's okay. That's how you dominate. And the other 2 players you want to grab are Milroe and Milton and Shador. Those are 3 amazing third quarterbacks. And if you get screwed on quarterback because you misjudge this process and you let Penix Jr. and Cam Ward both slip out of your kung fu grip, and you're taking a lap from me because you misjudged it, you miscounted, you miscalculated where your ADP was and how that was all going to fall, then your only hope is to land Milton, Milroe, and Shedeur.
Yeah.
All right, my boy.
Is there a... All right, thanks, man.
Well, what do you got? Last one.
Oh, I just wanted to know, is there a world where you go quarterback first round, quarterback second round?
Yeah, like I said, like I just said, if an opportunity arises that I can't refuse, absolutely. But just like a Bo Nix were there in the late second, or even the early second, and it just felt it. It felt it. Looked at the other players. I said, you know what? The way these guys are going to draft, I'm going to take advantage and clean up later on. Then yeah, I don't mind that at all. But you give me Penix Jr. or Cam Ward instead, and give me a freaking Bucky or Genty in round 2 instead, that's way better, bro. Penix Jr. and Genty's way better than Bo Nix, and then who you're probably going to get later. So at the end of the day, I still think Penix Jr. and Cam are the answer. All right, bro, got to go. Appreciate you. All right, let's go over to 512. What's your name, 512, and where are you calling from?
Hey, Smitty. My name is Javier, and I'm calling from Chicago.
What's up, Javier?
Hey, so I called about a week ago. I had made a lot of draft pick trades, and obviously I'm going to go with the flow of the draft, but I kind of need help thinking of ranking the guys that are going to be at my first pick. I don't pick until pick 19 in a 12-team league, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, only 2 receiver, flex tight end, half PPR.
1 quarterback.
The way I have them,
1
quarterback, yeah. 2 receivers, so receiver maybe not as valuable as a 3-receiver league, obviously. My hope is that I'm picking between Bucky, Brock Bowers, and McBride. My next pick, to give a little context, would be pick 19, pick 30, pick 32, and then I got 3 picks in the 40s where I'm going to try to get as many of the Triple H and associates. At 19, which that'll dictate, the flow of my draft. If you get to choose between Bucky, assuming nobody crazy falls, it's a pretty good league, so I wouldn't expect a can to fall there. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm working out, so that's why I sound out of breath. But
getting it pumping. That's right. Hey, let's do this together, bro. All right, go ahead.
So at 19,
Yep.
I'm hoping Bucky, and if I get Bucky,
You got this. One
at
more.
30.
Go ahead.
At 30, I'm hoping one of the tight ends falls. Like if I can get McBride there, and then at 32, I take my quarterback.
Yeah.
And then 41, 43, 47, I'm hitting the Triple H's. I doubt Omarion's there, but Harvey, Handy, Travis Hunter, that's why I did those trades, to be able to swoop those guys in the 4th round while still having my RB1 tight end QB. Thoughts on that order?
I mean, bro, you're planning this out a little too much. I mean, it's so hard. The flow of the draft matters. Okay. Give me the guys to rank. That's the best I can do for you right now. You're going in 1,000 different directions. Bucky, Bowers, McBride, you're wanting me to rank those guys, or you wanting me to rank a bigger group of guys?
No, those 3 guys, those 2 will likely be available at 19.
Okay.
Who would you go with, given the number of picks that I have in the meat of the draft?
Yeah, let me merge Travis in. Hold on. I would probably say that I'm for sure ranking Bucky number 1.
Okay.
Especially, and you said this is how many are in this draft? 12?
12 teams, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just find myself, I mean, if Bucky's there, I'm taking him over Bowers and McBride every time. Bowers is kind of like that 3rd round player that you would take into if you had to. Bowers is a mid to late 2nd round pick, and he's fantastic, especially when all the Buckys and Achans and Londons are gone. I find myself looking at Hampton or Bowers there, and I don't hate it at all. And Hampton's not bad here either. If you push came to shove, this guy could be a top 8 overall player, So Hampton's fantastic there. McBride's a 3rd rounder, bro, and I love him. He could outscore Brock Bowers. He really could. I don't want anybody to think get it twisted that this guy can't be just as good as Brock Bowers. Give me a break. They're like neck and neck. So 3rd round value is fantastic if you do get him in the 3rd. But I think you got to play ADP to your advantage, and he is a 3rd rounder. So
okay, perfect.
So yeah, these 2 by far, and then Hampton next. If you're feeling like this group is going to consume running back heavily, then Hampton would be the emergency pick here. And I think it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with him in round 2. I really don't. The only thing I would say, so I'd rank him maybe 3rd. I would just say, I'd be tempted to not like go Kittle or anything like that. If you don't get Bowers or McBride in 3, which you probably won't, don't go Kittle. Don't go other tight end. Just wait. You can get Laporta in 7. And if he doesn't fall, then get Evan Ingram in 7 or 8. You'll be fine.
Perfect. That was going to be a follow-up question. So it's Bowers or McBride at the right value, and if I don't get either of those, I'll wait around 6 or 7 for an Ingram.
Definitely. And Ingram sometimes goes later than 7. It just kind of feel out the ADP, feel out the group, feel out where he rank. Like if he's a top-ranked tight end, but he's like 13th down on the list, there's risk that he could go at any moment because he's the top-ranked tight end. If he's the 3rd-ranked tight end and he's 15 players down and you're drafting in 4 picks, you like, let's say you're taking a pick, but you were going to go again in 4 or 5 picks, you're probably not going to lose him. You just got to calculate all that on the fly. That's part of best player available, my boy. It's ever evolving, stay liquid, stay loose type of approach. But yeah, I'm not going to plan out your entire draft, without knowing the pieces on the board. I'm just setting you up for failure. All right, later, bro.
No, that's perfect. I just wanted the flow of the draft. That helps a lot.
Get back to pumping iron later, bro. This one is 540. What is your name and where are you calling from, young man?
Hey, Smitty, this is Hunter from Virginia.
What's up, Hunter?
Hey, so I got a simple question. Full PPR at this point, do you like Hampton or Chase Brown?
Hampton. Just barely.
I'm leaning that same way, man.
It's crazy because what Chase Brown did last year, and being that we called it, nobody.
He helped me win my league last year.
Yeah. Nobody had Chase Brown higher in this channel. No, so it's hard to you would think if I'm a biased person, I'd be tacking myself to that pick and saying, let's do it again and trying to get kudos for it.
Yeah, but we're thinking about next year.
Yeah, if I was a biased person, but I'm not, and I'm just thinking Hampton's the stronger play. He just is. But this is a very, very close call. And we're talking about shoving him into round 2. We're talking about shoving him into round 2. Both of them kind of currently, as of this moment, hold 3rd round value. But we quietly are okay with them being emergency picks. And I still got to do a video on that today, I think. And this is very good that this news broke on Najee prior so that I can include it in the video. But the video is in a jam. Yeah, sure, you can call HHH and Associates, but in a jam in round 2, HHH and Associates will recommend that you go Hampton or Chase Brown or Kyron as your emergency 2nd round play.
All right, Smith, appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think going forward, if anybody opt to create some sort of alert system, but if anybody needs extreme advice, and don't abuse it. If you say, Smitty, I got a big problem. Do I draft Chase Brown? Then you say, put me in touch with HHH, and I hit the button, and it sounds the alerts, and you're on the phone with the important advice. Focus in, Smitty. I need your help. You waste it, you're never allowed to use it again. So we'll be opening. I'll be creating that. It'll be like a honing in, alarms and a red screen, and it'll be you're calling HHH and Associate. This is a problem. And if I deem that it wasn't worthy of the button, never again can you call in and request it. So you got to be very careful. It is a dire question. And just to give you a kind of an idea, this would qualify. This would qualify because it's really honing in on the topic of the show. And it's also, people need to know, where do I take Hampton? I'm on the clock soon. Am I ruining my league if I take him at 15? It's a great question. So you would have been approved. All right. See you later, pal. Appreciate you calling next time. Hunter, I got you in the system later.
All right. Appreciate it.
Travis, you're live.
Hey, what's up? Looking at Najee, I can't see him doing anything for a couple weeks if he's lucky, and even then it's going to take him a long time to ramp up. So at this point, Monty Vidal, with a team that likes to run that much, what's your feelings on him? Because I know he's having a pretty good camp. And we liked him before, and is he a guy to stash still at this point?
You know, I think, I mean, Travis, is a great question. I think, unfortunately, if I had to guess right now, I'd probably say that this would be preemptive waiver wire content. Like, where, and it's a great question. It's a great question, but I would probably say, if I had to choose, I would say this is Vidal's not a guy I can roster now. He's on my watch list. And if things go awry before week 1 and we have some sort of word that yeah, he's not going to be ready for months or weeks or whatever, I think they're paying him too much money to not have him be the backup. If he was getting less money, I think they wouldn't play around and they would easily move on or whatever. But I think they're also going to have some loyalty to the situation. It just feels like very Harbaugh-like to get him back into the fold. But I think that we need more bad evidence in an outlook that's like, you know, he's going on IR and then all of a sudden Vidal's a cuff. But I don't know that Vidal would be a standalone grab. You know what I mean? Like, yet, but he certainly, I just added him to the list. Well, I'll redo this. I got to do this show tonight or tomorrow, the preemptive week 1 waiver wire show. I also got to do the emergency second round show. So I got a lot I got to do here. But I think it's a great question. But how do you house Vidal right now, not knowing that Najee's in or out for the season as the backup, and when you might have like a limited, you know, 7 running backs that you hold or 6 running backs? I can't own Vidal when I can get Brashard Smith. I can't own Vidal when I can get Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I can't own Vidal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so I'd say like he's kind of like Sean Tucker though. If you have Bucky, you want Sean Tucker if you have a deep enough bench. But you might not even be able to draft Sean Tucker if you could only have 5 total running backs. So it kind of just depends. Right. Yeah. Practice squad somebody, I think, and then pick up Vidal. Or drop your kicker now if you're in a dynasty. Hold Vidal and just wait until week 1. Like, those are really the only options. I can't imagine housing Vidal yet, but I don't want to diminish the idea in the conversation that we need to be having about Vidal. So that's why he's a waiver wire or watch player. And then if something starts to move even for a millimeter on this thing, that we say, okay, now execute, go get him. You know, we're on the lurch.
Yeah, and yeah, to me it would redraft. You can't even really think about it. It would have to be dynasty. And like I said, I just ask because from everything I hear and see, he's the guy. He's the backup for sure. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it seems like
if it goes awry,
Raheem Sanders hasn't been great, and Haskins hasn't been great. I mean, they brought in Nyheim Hines, but I'm not sure he's going to pass him up on the depth chart. I haven't heard a lot about him.
If it goes awry and gets off the rails even more, then yeah. But like I said, everybody take their hand and don't put it right in front of your face. Extend your arm as far as you can. So almost lock your arm. It's going to be hard to lock it. And then put this circle not over my eye or the side of put it right over my nose. Okay, so extend your arm, make a circle, put it right over my nose. Cover one eye and see if I vanish or do I stay exactly where I am. You can see me through the circle. And then take your other hand and do it. And if I vanish, if I shift, if I move completely out of sight, my nose moves, that's your dominant eye that you covered. And so your eyes are way more unique than you think. And when, you're born with one eye, or you lose eyesight in one eye when you're a young kid, or even if you have like a handful of years to adapt, you'll be fine. You'll be able to adjust and figure out your depth perception and everything. But Najee's going to be in a bad spot for a while. His ability to track the ball won't be the same. He's not touching third down work in that case if he can't track the ball. We don't know if he lost his dominant eye, if he's lost it at all, if it will return. But the fact that he's only been cleared to walk, like that is a far cry from getting hit. And there's obviously, like I said, we're going to start. He can't even open it. Look at this. This is crazy. We're probably going to start hearing things like detached or, detached retina, scratched, very severely injured cornea, or probably something with like optic nerve or just detached retina. It might be as simple as a detached retina, and it's got to heal. But the fact that he can't even open his eye means there's so much surrounding damage as well to some degree. I mean, this looks bad, and we're still awaiting other reports and such. But at the end of the day, he's so far away from taking a hit because they're trying to salvage whatever they can. There's just he's losing ground every single day, and if the eye is a problem, he doesn't gain back full vision or even remotely close, the tracking is going to be off. It's just not going to be something that it's going to threaten the third down work, the PPR work that this man's destined to get anyway. They're handing it to him now, and there's no dialing it back. You don't just say, well, we got Najee on a 1-year deal. It's they don't think like that. Oh, let's gain a little extra longevity out of Hampton by running Najee they want to win, and he's the future, and he's now. Like, they're going to, you could say that about anybody. Hey, Bijan, we really love Bijan. Let's dial him back this year to get an extra year. No, you don't think like that at all. No coach is going to do that. You're going to run the hell out of this guy.
That's a good point.
The genie's already out of the bottle. There's no shoving it back in. Hampton's the third down back guaranteed now. And so that's 1/3 of the work locked in. And if you don't think he's getting 80% of the first and second down work, I got a bridge to sell you. This guy's going to be one of the highest volume, not necessarily carries, but volume players in the league at the running back position. So he's arguably worth like 2.1. I'm not saying take him there. And somebody came into the live stream like a week ago, or a couple days ago, I think it was actually. It just seems like a week because I've done like 7 shows in like 48 hours. But he came in, probably was last night, came in and said, Hampton 2.1. As much as I'm saying he's worth that, do not do anything you don't need to do yet. Take advantage of the opportunity. Don't buy a $300,000 house that's appraised for $300,000 for $400,000 tomorrow when you don't need to, just because you know it's going to be worth $500 someday. You just leaving meat on the bone. All right, go ahead, Travis. Then I'll go over to Ron real quick.
Yeah, it's a good point too, because he's on a 1-year deal. So the further we go into this, the less they're committed to him. They're and like you said, I'm sure if he comes back, Harbaugh will get him back in a role, and he's earned that. He can do that, but being on a 1-year deal, it's less commitment. But what I was going to say real quick, I'll let you go to Ron. I don't know why he did this, because all this does is bring him negativity. To me, it's almost reeks of a little like desperation of like, don't forget I'm here type of thing, because like clearly you can't open your eyes, so that's not a positive picture you put out.
Yeah, but
we made it seem like, oh, we're out here. This is good.
I mean, look, what can he do? I don't know. We don't know the context of the photo. Did someone else take it and it's kind of lost? It got out of control, or how that happened? But did he? Well, do we know if he's the originating source of posting it?
I think he posted it.
Okay.
Like with a caption that's something like, "We out."
But you're all speculating. Why are you guys speculating?
Ron, stop.
I get it.
Ron, stop.
I get it.
Ron, come on, man.
No, let me speak. Don't tell me come on. Hold on a minute. I get it that you're putting Hampton, you're promoting Hampton, and he's going to get the majority. I get that part of it. But why the hell are you sitting there speculating about Najee on a report that you haven't even got on a picture that could be a fake picture? And you're going overboard on this stuff, speculating about it to push your stuff on to push your stuff.
Ron, are we really back? Are we really back to the Smitty's bias? Are we really back to the Smitty's bias? Ron, are we really back to the Smitty's bias?
Because I got in here a little late, so I went back and listened to some stuff. And when you mentioned, he went to a Stanford doctor, Well, what do people do when they have problems?
Call their HMO, Ron.
Like they go to Andrews Institute. They go to the best. They go to the best specialist. That was kind of lame. Come on now. You're speculating about Najee.
I'm speculating correctly, Ron.
Hampton.
I've been right on this 100%. This is like arguing with the Caleb supporter. I've been right on Caleb 100%.
Right.
They call it and go, "Oh my God, I've been 100% right on this, Ron. 100% right. 100%." And I'm not. And Ron, we're back to the bias. We're back to the bias stuff, huh? We're back to the bias stuff.
Where's the official report?
Smitty's so biased. He's so biased. So biased. Ron, I'm in the prediction business. I'm not in the, I only do this when it's totally 100%. I'm in here.
Let me make a prediction. I predict that in the first game, Bijan Robinson's going to get hit and his knee's going to explode. Okay, that's a prediction.
Ron, what do you think I do? I predict things.
Dude.
I predict things.
You're going overboard with
Ron,
it, though.
Ron, you're the only one in here that thinks I'm not going overboard.
You have no evidence. You have no supporting documentation. You got a picture that could be doctored, that could have been put in there. How many times do we see? Oh, so and so was at the airport, when so and so's being traded. Oh, but it was a fake picture.
Ron,
how many times do we get that?
It was his Snapchat.
Ron, it was his.
How did he posted it himself?
Snapchat.
Ron, it was his photo.
You don't know that. You just said you didn't know.
What do you mean?
I just told you. I know.
You just said you don't know.
It's his photo, Ron.
Is it him or not?
Okay, so now what are you doing, Ron? You've just been proved wrong, and now you're trying to dig on what ifs. Yes, you have.
Show me where his Snapchat is and where he posted it.
Yes, you have, Ron.
Put it on the screen.
Ron,
put it on the screen.
Ron,
I don't have Snapchat.
Ron, I don't need to put it on the screen.
I just sent it to you.
Yeah,
you can put it on the screen if you want. I just sent it to you.
Go look at
anything can be happening.
Okay, Ron, are you going to be happy after this? Because you've been wrong on this 100%. And this has been 100%. Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't been wrong.
Yeah, you have.
100%.
I've been 100% right. I've been 100% right.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
The only part you're right about is that because Najee's out, that Hampton's going to get the leading role. You're right about that. I admit to that. But as far as what the hell does that tell me? That don't tell me shit.
Ron, I can't explain social media to you.
You know what Snapchat is?
Ron, let me explain something real quickly. I'm in the business of predicting things. I'm in the business of connecting dots. I'm in the business of trying to feel out when I smell something fishy. I'm not in the business, Ron, where I don't go live and speculate on something if I feel like it needs to be speculated on. And I've speculated on
You're
this.
Speculating on it, though.
So? I've been 100% right, Ron. Ron, you think people don't want me to come in here and address it?
There is no news that's come out, official news that's come out.
There is news, Ron.
Since the last time we talked about this.
I know, and you were wrong. You were wrong, and I was right. I came in here and said exactly what was happening, and that's what's happening. And that's my job. My job is to speculate and sniff it out. That's all we got. That's the point, Ron. That's the point. We have no one's giving us any info, so we gotta go dig
anything
Ron, what are we supposed to do? We supposed to just sit there and wait? Are we supposed to sit there and wait, or are we supposed to dig into this, try and investigate?
Yeah, you should wait.
No, I'm not gonna wait. That's not my show, Ron. Ron, that's not my show. Ron, that's not my show. That's not my show. Nope.
And let the facts come out about Najee's
okay. Guys, hold on. Don't raise Hampton in your rankings. Don't draft Hampton anymore. Let's wait until the facts come out and not speculate. We're all gonna miss the boat.
No,
Ron, get out of here, Ron. Ron, ridiculous, ridiculous, Ron.
Because it's better if we draft them late.
Ridiculous.
The later we can keep drafting them, the better it is for Hampton.
That's
you don't want his ADP.
You're off your rocker today. The whole chat, Ron. The whole chat says you're off your rocker. You're off your rocker. You're coming in. You're coming in here acting like I'm supposed to not go live on a photo that Najee put out there that has his eye that he's trying to update and he can't open it and it's on his Snapchat feed. You're trying to act like we shouldn't go live on this and speculate. Let's just wait until we get the official report right before week 1 and not have Hampton rise up at all. Let's just sit back and not.
Does he say he can't open up his eyes?
I predicted this.
Did he say on a Snapchat that he can't open up his eyes?
Ron, okay, I'll wait. Let me wait. But when he can't open his eye, it's sealed shut, and he's smiling.
God.
I'll just wait. I'll wait until the official report comes out. I'll wait till the official report comes out, and then I'll talk about it so people can have an advantage. Ron, I'm in the advantage game. I'm in the advantage game.
Interference election done all over again by the Democrats. It's all fake news.
Why would he take a picture with his eye closed if he could open it? What good would that be?
Did he say anything? Did he say anything, or was it just a picture?
Ron, how many shares do you have at Najee? Ron, how many Najee shares do you really have? This sounds like you were in so deep.
I don't have that many Najee shares.
Ron, you are more biased on this topic than I've ever heard you.
No,
I'm not biased at
biased.
all.
No,
yeah, you are.
I'm not biased.
Yeah, you are.
I'm tired of
Travis,
no,
on a scale 1 to 10, how biased is Ron being
ask
right
your
now?
buddy Travis that agrees with you pretty much 99.9% on everything that comes out of your mouth.
Never heard that one before.
Come on now.
Let's ask this
Stop
random.
it.
Let's ask this random caller here. Hold on. Hey, who is it? Steve? Is it Steve? Steve, on a scale of 1 to 10, how biased is Ron being right now? Okay, you can't even hear you, soft talker. Hold on. Let's go. We got. Let's see. 631. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I have a total of 25% drafted in all of underdog of Najee. $186 of what I spent in underdog.
Yeah, but you're still biased because you're for the underdog. You're for the underdog.
You see, I just proved you wrong right there. You're thinking I got all this exposure on Najee. I don't have all this exposure on Najee.
Well, that is a higher percentage according to normal people. But we're a weird community.
Not.
That is 31%. That's about 17 is where people freak out. We're different.
I got 63% of Debo.
Ron, you're not listening. You're not listening, Ron. You're not listening. You're not listening. I said we're a weird breed. We overconsume. I'm just saying in a general sense, 17% people freak out about. I'm just telling you, 30's high. I'm not saying it's not higher than some of the things you're dropping or that I'm dropping, but it's still considered really high. Real quickly, but I'm not even saying that. I'm saying your bias is that you're defending Najee just to defend him until it's finally known.
Because we don't know the facts.
Ron, that's what I do for a living, is come out here and speculate so that people can get ahead of the curve. I don't wait. And I'm pretty damn accurate at this. I've been pretty dead on. I smelled something fishy when they didn't report it right away, and I smelled something fishy when they said, okay, he'll be fine for week 1. It's superficial. And I've been correct the whole way, Ron. The whole way. 100%. This is like the Caleb stuff. People are like, you're going to be wrong on Caleb. I've been right on Caleb the entire way.
You say you're correct. So
okay.
If you say you're correct, then you're correct without actual evidence.
What have I been wrong? What have I been wrong about so far? Tell me. Enlighten me. What have I been wrong with the Najee situation so far?
I think I need therapy. That's fine.
What have I been wrong about with Najee so far? All right. Hold on a second, Ron. I think did he accidentally hung up on everybody. Hold on. Can I get everybody back? Damn it. Ron and Travis, call back. I didn't actually mean to hang up. That was like the worst timing. Steven, stop calling. I already hung up on you. You were soft talking. Nobody could hear you. And when you called in, it hung up on Ron and Travis. Ron and Travis, call back. I think you're in no man's land, but I can't get you back. Steven called in, asking for a stapler. He's like, I put him on the spot. Give me a ranking 10-1 for Ron. He's like, so hold on, Steven. Call back in a minute. Just stop dialing. Travis and Ron, call back. Somehow you're in no man's land. I don't know where it went. I'm trying to get him back on the line. Ron's going to think I hung up on him now. Kirkwood says, what's up, Smitty? Have you done a Superflex tutorial this year? I just talked out what I just talked out. Steven, stop calling! I just talked about right now, 10-man, not going to do a tutorial on a 10-man, but you can drop a super chat at any moment and ask a detailed question about a specific strategy. But Kirkwood, in this particular super chat, I'll just tell you, like I tell a lot of people, it's early quarterback. I just walked. You might have actually seen me walk through that other person. You might have dropped that super chat before that. But quarterback early. Ron, call back in. Ron's going to think I hung up on him.
I didn't even know we got stuck in purgatory.
Yeah,
Ron was still going 100.
Yeah, Ron dialed.
I told him though. So
Steven kept calling to the point where it's every like maybe I don't know 100th 200th call when someone calls in, it like auto answers it and it hangs up on the group chat. And so this has happened to Ron, but the only other time this happened last was Ron was on the phone and Ron's like, he thought I hung up on him. I'm like, I didn't mean to hang up on you. It's just Steven kept calling and it just forced the call closed. I don't know.
You didn't hang up on me.
Well,
we were in purgatory, I guess. But then when I was about to hang up, because I was like doing the thing, I heard you, and then you went away again.
Yeah, I can't get you, even though you guys stay there. I can't get you back for some reason. And Steven just kept blasting the phone line. It might be it even might be something where I'm messing around with my mouse and I hit auto answer and I don't know it or something. But anyway, go ahead, Ron.
He probably wants to call in and give me shit.
I was trying to say, name one thing I've been wrong about the Najee situation. Because you said that I haven't been right on it to a T. I have been. Everything I've said, I've called to a T. And it's wild to me, though, that this is how the show operates. If there's no info out there, they're not releasing any formal statements about timetables or anything. They're keeping everything under wraps because they don't fully know what the timetable is. They don't want to give any information. They're holding back. It's my job to go hunting for the information. And gosh dang it, did it again. Call in again, Ron, and let me close the phone line real quickly. It's having issues, clearly. King, stop calling. Stop calling, King. Let me reopen. Ron and Travis, try one more time. It should fix it by restarting it, but it's having an issue where it's hanging up automatically. I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe Ron needs to call HHH and Associates. Call back one more time, Ron. I'm sorry. Call back, Travis. I don't know what in the hell is going on. I restarted it. It should be fine now, but I'm gonna block Steven, the next person that continues to, All right, Ron, go ahead. What have I been wrong on?
Oh, I said the severity of it. You're pushing the severity of it, and it's like you said, well, you went to see Stanford doctors and all this. Well, a lot of players that get injured, they go to Andrews Institute because they have the best doctors to do that sort of thing. So why wouldn't you go see like the best eye doctors to figure out what's going on? But we still don't know the extent of it. We don't know the severity of it yet. We have no idea.
So what's your recommendation?
What's your
recommendation, Ron? When this photo,
if it's an optic nerve, you keep mentioning optic nerve. You know, optic nerves can't heal themselves, right?
But
you realize that,
Ron,
right?
we don't.
Most of the eye can heal itself, but the optic nerve cannot heal.
We don't know what's wrong.
So if it's optic nerve, he's really screwed.
We don't know what's wrong with it.
An optic nerve cannot heal. It doesn't heal on its own.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's been just bruised.
We don't. That's my point. We don't know.
Ron, so what's the alternative, Ron? What's the alternative? What have I actually done wrong?
Why make it more severe?
But tell me what. Ron, because people need to make judgment calls, and whether Hampton's going to the moon or not because of this getting worse.
We already know he is. We already know he is. All you have to really say is, Najee's on a 1-year deal. It was the plug-in, which you already said, and that because he's missing time, that Hampton's now going to go to the moon because they drafted him as their future, and he's going to the moon, and he's going to be taking over third down and all that. That's all you got to say.
Ron,
and you notified everybody, but you keep using Najee to push Hampton.
Ron, this is what the show is.
Why?
This is because, number one, you realize not everybody watches every show in the past, right? You realize that if news breaks today, there are thousands of people that may consume the content that have never seen any of my Najee content. A lot of people are flooding in August. You think I'm going to be like, I covered this 7 days ago. Go watch that video. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. You really are irrational.
Yeah, you've done that before.
You're really irrational.
You've done that. You said I made a video earlier.
You're really irrational right now. Ron, this is the hottest topic.
But the people that don't watch it on a regular basis, they're missing out, aren't they?
Ron, yeah,
I
get it, Ron. You're being really irrational on this. We have so much information by not having any.
You're irrational.
Yeah, it is really
This is
irrational.
a development in the situation, Ron.
This is the biggest thing, the biggest story right now, period. And because you don't like that there's speculation involved, very educated guessing that I've been 100% correct on so far. This reminds me of the Caleb situation. This reminds me of how badly I hammered home Dan Waldron and Eberflus and that Caleb would suck and that isn't the best situation a rookie's been handed. And it's like when people call him today and go, you don't give Caleb enough credit. He's going to be really good this year. It's like, you're going to be wrong about this. Well, what do I get credit-wise for everything that I called to a T last year? Everything with Najee I've called to a T up to this point. Yes, Ron, there are some open-ended things I'm still predicting that have not been proven true, but clearly I'm onto something, and I've been digging into
when you're on something
for a long time, so I can smell it coming from a mile away.
I say it every time, Smitty, and you know it. You cannot deny it. Every time that you end up being right and I'm wrong, I admit to it.
I thought this would be.
Do I not?
I thought today, yes, you do. You do eventually come back, but don't you feel like this is heading in that direction, Ron? Don't you think you're going to be called? When I said Pickens would get traded, you called in and screamed and yelled at me is worse than this. How I was so wrong, how I predicted this. You said Pickens was a diva. You said, like, you were going on all these different side tangents about what I did in this situation, what I did in that. You probably pulled in, you didn't like Baker Mayfield. Like, that's what you do when you get really mad at me, is you pull some totally unrelated situation into it. Let me merge this call. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, caller. Mute yourself, please. I'll be right with you.
With?
You what? I don't know. You'll do that. When you get really frustrated, you'll just come out of nowhere and go, but you didn't.
Well,
but you didn't like Baker. You didn't like Baker.
The same way. You look back when it's convenient, but then when somebody else looks back,
you give a shit about it. That's not true.
Come on.
That's not true. See, that's what I'm saying.
It is.
No, it's not. I call my L's all the time. You know how many times I mentioned, and I wasn't on Baker, to be completely honest, to be fair. I talk about that all the time. Look, Ron.
But I don't bring it up all the time.
Whenever you get so pressed, you'll go for something like that, just like you did a minute ago. you get so
What did I do
pressed.
a minute ago?
I'm blanking.
I agreed with you.
No,
I agreed with everything that you said about Hampton going to the moon, about Hampton solidifying himself. I agreed with all that.
Ron,
I don't agree with
if anybody, Ron, I know you think that
the chat,
I know you think that the chat just agrees with me all the time. They don't. There's a lot of times I come in here and like on the Harvey stuff. There's tons of people that were anti what I'm talking about. In the chat, put an X if you don't agree with Ron and think he's off his rocker. Put a green check mark or some positive.
90% of them think I'm off my rocker.
But Ron, I don't think it's gonna be 90%. I think it's gonna be 100. Like today, you were totally out of pocket. I'm sorry.
Brand said, I disagree with both of you.
Well, that's because Brandon tried to call in and he's mad.
That's funny.
I just don't think you're going to get anybody that disagrees with, or that agrees with you today, because you came in and you're basically saying that I shouldn't go live or speculate on this until I have the facts. That's not how I operate. Sometimes I have to investigate.
No, you can speculate on it, but you keep doing it over and
because
over.
it's brand new information, Ron. Today we got the biggest news of all. We got the reveal. We got the photo reveal, which everyone's been waiting for. Everyone's been waiting for the photo reveal. This is the biggest Najee update we could have asked for was today. And I'm supposed to sit on it because we don't have all the facts yet. We don't have all the facts, so I'm just going to sit on the photo? I mean, come on. Let me go to these phone callers. Hold on. King, you're live.
So, I'm drafted in a 10-man PPR league.
Oh, geez.
5th overall. Yeah. So I wanted to know, I keep mock drafting and I keep getting...
mock draft?
In the first round,
mock draft?
Yeah.
All right, hurry up, bro. Yeah. We're in the middle of a Najee discussion. No offense, but this is a selfish question right now. Go ahead, real quickly, as fast as you can.
Well, yeah, that was out of this world. I think to think a grown man is going to be the same after losing an eye is ridiculous. But anyway...
To say what? To say what? Say what?
A grown man is going to lose an eye and be the same running back the next year is out of this world when he was already a mediocre running back.
Ooh.
But anyway,
Ron catching strays on the phone call.
Anyway, CeeDee Lamb or Jahmyr Gibbs, Bucky Irving or A.J. Brown, and do you think I should swing for a QB in the third round because I think
you're asking me whether you should move your queen to the middle of the board on the 5th move. Bro, I have no idea what you're doing in the 3rd round. It depends on the flow. I'm not going to give you that information because that's leading you astray, setting you up for failure, setting you up for a nutsack kick. But I will tell you that Lamb or Gibbs, I don't mind either way. Bucky, 100% on that question. But do I go Gibbs Bucky? If I think I'm getting Rice and Garrett Wilson and Hunter, hell yeah, I could go RB. But if this is wide receiver heavy, Lamb and Bucky's pretty damn safe, and it gives you flexibility at the any point in the draft to go any direction you want. Like if Hampton were to fall, like imagine if Hampton fell to the 3rd round and you had already gone Gibbs and Bucky, and then you're like, damn it, what do I do?
Well, I think he will. I think he will. I think
Lamb ain't bad.
Fall to the 3rd.
Then go Lamb and Bucky and you'll be fine. But what if Bucky doesn't fall and you wish you went Gibbs and then you got Gibbs? Now you have Lamb in London.
Well, Bucky. Do I take Bucky second round pick like 16?
Of course.
Do you take Bucky there?
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the easier question. Yeah, that's the easiest question I've been asked. So that's a little easier than even, hey, do you think Najee's going to be a Pro Bowler this year?
All right, my fault.
Catch the strays. Ron, did you want
So what about this report? Did you post this report of Harbaugh a couple of days ago that says Najee's eyes getting better, walking laps as part of rehab? He still has no timeline for return.
Yeah.
That's an official report from August 4th.
Yep, I went live on that.
So Najee's now doing what a senior citizen can do for us.
I went live immediately, Ron.
So if his eye is getting better, then why are you demolishing his eye, saying we don't know if it's going to get better, we don't know if he's going to get sight in it, we don't know if he's going to lose weight.
Says this?
If the coach says it's getting better, then that's a positive thing, right?
No, it's not, Ron. He was told he could walk.
It's not.
He was told. He was told he could walk. Yeah, his eye's getting better, Ron. Every day it's going to get better. The wounds, everything's healing. The question is whether he's going to be able to see still. The question is how long will it be till he can take a hit? Ron, naturally, every day you get better. And you think Harbaugh's going to come out and go, nope, he's doing pretty shitty. He just told us, Ron, I went live on it. He told us that day he's walking. He's been cleared to walk. And I said, panic time. Panic time, Ron. I came in and I said,
They called it a minor eye injury.
Uh-huh.
And they're being cautious with it.
Uh-huh.
It can't be that minor. It's been a month.
It's been a whole month.
He's only walking.
It's hard for him to open it. He's only cleared to walk.
Okay, when you pull a groin,
Ron, you're
it's not career ending, but doesn't it take a long time to recover from a groin injury usually?
Yeah, Travis.
Or a hamstring.
Yeah, Travis, when you blow up your eye.
Like that.
Travis, when you light a bottle rocket.
So why all of a sudden we go on off board on Najee's eye when
Yeah,
we don't
hey,
even know.
Travis, isn't lighting a bottle rocket off in your eye the same as pulling your groin? What if you light a bottle rocket off on your groin? Is that the same as lighting one off in your eye?
Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul's fingers growing back in the day.
Ron, this is getting bad. Come on, man. Smitty, have you done the Superflex tutorial? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Kirkwood, anytime you have a follow-up question or a specific Super Chat question on you can change the narrative, and I'll talk about it. And I just broke down, I'm sorry, Kirkwood, I'm not responding to that again. But just make sure you're drafting early quarterback, at least with that first-round pick, if you can get one of those top 5-6 guys. And then my best strategy for 10-man, for 12-man, is to go Penix Jr. and Cam Ward shopping later. Now, 10-man, you could probably go Knicks and other quarterback and still get, because it's 10-man, elite studs the entire way. And in some respects, a 10-man league, you do have slightly a better advantage by having the two big gun quarterbacks because everybody's being pulled up, right? So you're getting just that much extra skill position players, and everyone will be good at skill position players. So the only edge you really have would be the quarterbacks. But because Penix Jr. and Cam Ward are so good, I'm fine with that approach still. But that would be my best advice for that. And then this one, Smitty, how did I do? Traded Rome and Darnold for Judkins, Geno, and a 26 second rounder. I think he did pretty bad. I know that Judkins is in a bad spot, but still like the value. I don't like the value. I don't know that Judkins will play at all this year, period. And when he comes back, he doesn't get the starting job. If Dylan Sampson's run away with the job, Judkins isn't just going to come back and take it. So I don't even want Judkins. So Leo, I know you're not going to like that. I'm sorry. You super chatted me. You want my honest opinion. I don't like this trade at all. I'd rather have Odunze by a country mile over Judkins. Country mile. And I think that Odunze has more trade value too. I got to get these super chats here. Hold on one second, Ron. Ron, fantasy football is 100% speculation, says J1. HHH pro bono work needed for Ron therapy. These super chats are all for Ron. Ron, do I need to cut you a check? I'm with Ron on this one. Sorry, Smith. Oh, box of juice. You got a guy in your corner, Ron. You got a caddy.
We got one.
Woo! Ron, GoFundMe. We needed HH derangement syndrome for a GoFundMe for it. 3 weeks from season opener, he's only allowed to walk. I mean, that's what we're trying to say. If Ron was in a crew, if Ron was in my crew, a ribeye bet is in order. In a 14-man league, would it be your preferred? What would be your preferred draft spot? Probably middle of the pack in that, just because you can still get that Lamb or that Genty really easily, like maybe 6 or 7, and then you're not waiting so long. I hate waiting. The bigger the league, the harder that wait is. You could really get screwed if you got to wait like a really far distance between picks. So that would be my advice. Yeah, middle, but maybe a little bit high, like 7, just so you can get Genty. Happy to see Hampton getting love. The 25 version of Bijan Gibbs' rookie season is my favorite pick of the year by far, especially the later you got him, Nico. But again, to reference some of that is like, my job is to investigate. My job is to predict. I'm not always right, not saying I am, but we're pretty damn accurate. This entire offseason pretty much called almost everything to a T that's been major, from the Pickens trade, from everything. And the only thing that I'm even slightly, I don't even say worried about, but I think I could be wrong on, or might not be, it just depends on the heavy hand at the moment, is does Rice get a 2 to 4 game suspension? A lot of people say 8. I think there's 0 chance of 8, but could he get 5? Could he get 6? Might I be wrong by 2 games? Possible. We called
who was worse though, him or Addison? And Addison got 3 games.
Addison's was worse because there was alcohol involved, and it was a multiple offense. So given that,
but
the accident,
did he leave the scene though?
Well, but the thing is that what matters is the charge. The optics matter. They help weigh out the severity, but if the optics, they can't like draw new conclusions necessarily. And the fact that he pleaded guilty to 2 third-degree felonies, the third-degree felonies to the letter of the NFL policy do not require a suspension. Whereas alcohol or domestic violence do require a suspension. So it is actually not as bad as Addison's situation to the letter of the NFL policy. Right or wrong, that's the way the NFL views these things. If it was domestic violence, it's 6 to 8 games. If it's this situation where it's reckless driving and it's, reckless, it's not like he's using the car as a weapon in terms of the plea. If it was like he was using the car as a weapon, that would be another thing. But he was completely an idiot. But the plea, we'll see where it goes. That plea, to me, the 2 third-degree felonies are not, they're not minor, but those are as minor as you can make them. And they don't necessarily require, because it wasn't like there was alcohol involved. It wasn't like, and I'm not saying there wasn't, they didn't hide it. He ran off the freeway, but that's unfortunately that you can't consider it. So this is a case of like where I think the optics people want to say, well, I know what he was doing and he ran off the freeway and he was a coward for doing that. We addressed all that. I was the first to call him a coward for that. But
yeah, I agree with you. I don't think, NFL, we always know that NFL, they're never the same with any two people as far as what they do with them.
Especially with Chief.
Now, Addison, I've loved Addison ever since he came out, but he deserved at least a 3-game suspension because he's being an idiot.
I think 3 games in my interpretation. Again, this is where I think maybe I'm wrong on this one, and I'm admitting that kind of up front that there's a possibility, but I don't think I will be. But to my interpretation of how the NFL will view their own policy, not right or wrong, not what I think he deserves, not what you think he deserves, not what anybody watching thinks he deserves. My interpretation of how the NFL will interpret and execute upon their policy will be that Rice's is less significant than Addison's. And I know people won't want to admit that. They're going to say, well, Rice's is more dangerous. But you got to consider the plea. Mm-hmm. The plea is what's judged, and then the optics help shape it. But the plea is what's judged by the commissioner. Now, I think if he had 1 third degree felony, he wouldn't get a suspension. I think because there's 2, there's a possibility. There's a greater possibility. But, people saying things like 8 games, and they heard that somewhere. They don't know. I think it could be 6. It could be 6, but I don't think it will be. It could be, but it's probably 2 to 4. Probably 1 to 4, actually. 1 to 4. But there,
I guess it's not 3. I think it's less than 3. If any.
Yeah, I mean, I
think you're right on this one.
And can anybody really not picture them saying the Chiefs are innocent in this whole ordeal? I got a call from Taylor Swift, and we're gonna go ahead and just give him a big fine. Can anybody really say that they can't picture the NFL with their beloved Chiefs? I mean, it's the beloved Chiefs. I mean, so yeah, if we get a 1 to 3, we're celebrating. We're absolutely celebrating. Not because he's.
Well, we all thought Kamara was going to get nailed, but he didn't really get nailed.
Yeah, and
he was domestic violence, but it was against the male.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that's another thing. They look at, the NFL looked at whether it's a male or a female a lot differently.
And Kamara got 3 games, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's what.
Everybody agree on that? Was it 3 games? So if Kamara's was worse than Rashee Rice's by far. Like, Rice was stupid.
I agree.
Yeah, Rice was stupid. He caused a very, very bad accident, but no one died or got hurt. They went to the hospital on the advice, I'm sure, of their attorney and speculation, and that caused the felony. Because someone was injured enough to go to the hospital. Had they not gone to the hospital, he probably wouldn't have even had to plead to the 3rd degree felony. But that crash was 5 times lesser of an offense than Kamara's. Kamara's was a brutal act of intention and violence, whereas Rice was being an idiot, and it could have cost him. If Rice had, if somebody had, been unalived in that situation, Rice could be in jail or prison. You know what I mean? Prison, but that's the nature of, just like when someone drinks, and let's say you drink and drive, and somebody hits you, you're going to jail. Because you had alcohol in your system, no matter whether you caused the accident or not. That's a reality of that situation. So Rice not really badly hurting anybody was lucky, but that is part of this narrative. So, it is what it is.
Later carted off. What Travis, what is that about? Slater carted off?
Rashawn Slater got carted off at practice with a leg injury. It just happened though, so appears to be a left leg injury from Adam Schefter. We won't know anything for a couple hours probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
We said
it'll give Smitty something for the next show.
But Ron, do we really know that he got carted off? What if it's AI, Ron? What if, do we really have what if we're speculating on that report? Do we have an actual evidence? Was I there? You know what I mean? We're drawing lines.
Oh yeah, Smitty, there you go. Come on. I'm sure Travis got the official report and saw it probably on TV.
I mean, we're drawing lines everywhere and trying to make assumptions. Travis Hunter will make his two-way debut on Saturday night. All you Travis Hunter haters out there that think he can't play. Travis Hunter is going to play 80% offensive snaps, and his eventual goal is 80% defensive. And that pisses people off. He can't do it. I've said he couldn't do it all offseason, so I have to continue to say it because I'm on my couch or my swivel chair, and I can decide what he can and cannot do. Travis Hunter is going to put all you haters into a sad food coma as you just go for the bowl of chips and watch him do it, and you're like, I was wrong. This sucks. Now I got to go eat my words.
Do you think? And this is different. But do you think Burrow's gonna have like a series tonight or not against the Eagles?
Because
it's the Bengals Eagles tonight.
I don't know. I don't know what the usage will be, to be honest. Hard to say. That's why I'm not.
Hey guys, I gotta run. I gotta go somewhere. I'll talk to you.
Yeah,
tonight.
I gotta get off anyway.
See you, Ron.
All right,
later, Travis.
Later, Travis. I'm not sure what the usage will be. I'll cover that at 8 p.m. Let me go to this caller real quick. 707. What's your name and where you calling from? And then I got to get going. Hold on one second, Ron. 707. Bengals should play their starters for a little bit. I don't know how long. All right, 707. You're either muted or you're not there. Ron, any final thoughts?
No, I just heard that Aaron Rodgers, when they do their playoffs, he said he'd play in the preseason if Tomlin wanted him to.
Yeah. I think they should just go down to one game and then just let everybody play like a quarter, and then that's it. I mean, I don't know. I guess they get a chance to see these younger guys play, which is good, but I don't know.
That's the main thing is to see the younger guys play. Because, I mean, I think it makes it easier. Well, it can make it easier and harder.
Hey, Smitty.
Hold on one second, pal.
Spots to see if, even with the practice squad.
Yeah.
Okay, who's worth keeping on the practice squad or not? So.
Yep. All right, Ron.
And they got to get their bodies used to being hit. You know, they got to have a few games because they need to get their bodies used to being hit with pads on.
So just so people know, I agree. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was carted off the field with what looks like an Achilles tear. If anybody didn't hear that, Texans monster. That's a damn freaking shame. And then
who was that?
And then Rashawn who is what?
Who got the Achilles tear?
C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It looks like an Achilles tear, which is devastating. And then Rashawn Slater leaving practice on the medical cart. Sometimes they still cart you. We'll have to see. Sometimes people cart you just to make things, not worse. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, but
they're usually pretty good at identifying Achilles tears, though.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you later, Ron.
All right. Sorry for all the fireworks.
Tell Najee to stay away from the fireworks. All right, later.
Later.
All right, caller. Last caller. You're live. What's your name? Where are you calling from? 707?
Hey, Smitty. This is J1 out here in Northern California.
J1.
I just wanted to
Thanks
say,
for the super chats, J1.
I super chatted you with part of my tribute on winning the big money league.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago.
Appreciate you, bro.
But anyway, I appreciate you too, man. You guys are my YouTube family, and I just love the hell out of all of you. Real quick, so I boxed for 13 years when I was a young man. So, again, disclaimer, Ron, it's 100% speculation. But
Boxing.
I know some eye injuries,
Yeah.
and you could tell by the picture, assuming it's authentic, the swelling in his eye is gone, but the eye is still shut, and that means the doctors glued his eyelids shut. And again, speculation, I'm not a doctor, but it's probably a partial detachment of the retina.
Yeah.
Hence why he can only walk 33 days later.
Yep.
Any kind of, he can't, if you put him on a trampoline, he might be blind in his left eye.
Yep.
And,
You can't move any movement. And
so-
that's what I was saying. We're either going to hear like some sort of detached
Yes, you were
retina.
right.
Yeah, detached retina. We know medical on this show pretty damn well. We predict this shit pretty clear, pretty. That's why Ron's off his rocker by acting like I'm not. I haven't earned the right through all the things we've called, all the medical stuff that we call right. Don't have the leeway to try and run with something. Even if I'm wrong, I'm running with some very, very decent educated guessing, and we've been right the entire way. So detached retina or some sort of really bad cornea situation, or probably something in the back of the eye. You know, I'm not saying that the optic nerve, you know, can be repaired if it was, you know, massively damaged, but there could be swelling. There could be a lot of things pressing on the optic nerve. And then the swelling's got to go down so that the optic nerve doesn't get damaged. Like, all those things are in play. But I agree with you. I think something detached makes sense, because especially the detached retina, because if he's only allowed to walk and they're worried about any sort of hitting at all, then that means that, yeah, you shake something the wrong way and he's done. Like, they're trying to heal it.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, and you tell me based on your expertise in boxing, they're probably still hoping that something happens with the vision. I'm sure it's not back to normal. They're probably
they're not sure.
Yeah.
Right. They're not sure, hence why they probably glued his eyelids shut, because there's no swelling there at all, and he's not keeping his left eye shut on his own. It's glued shut, and they're not 100% sure till they unglue it and then start scanning it and looking through. But definitely the walking orders from the doctor a month later is definitely no jostling allowed whatsoever. I guarantee you, they told them, don't play with your kids, don't nothing. I mean, nothing at all.
Don't get on the phone with
Only
Ron
allowed
Navy.
to walk.
Don't get on the phone with Ron Navy. If you start screaming and yelling and bobbing your head a little bit, you're done. Yeah, and
Oh, that's okay. I'll be able to. I'm still 60, but my 13 years of boxing, I'll be able to put a little whooping on him while I'm eating the ribeye he bought me. But the thing is real quick on the Rice issue, and then I'll try to make it short. So you're right that the felonies are the minimal ones, third degree, but in the letter of the law with the NFL protocols, the word felony allows maximum. Yes,
allows, but not
for-
required.
Right, not required. But the optics of reckless driving, you know, with the Raiders, the wide receiver that killed that gal
Yeah.
and whatnot, they're very worried about the irresponsibility of some of these young men with these fast cars and whatnot.
Right.
And the public perception, I think they've gotten better at suspension punishments, because early on they were just erratic as hell, but they've gotten a little better, and injuries were involved, fleeing the scene of the accident, all very irresponsible, immature actions. Optically, I think he's looking at 4 minimum, possibly 6.
Yeah, but you got to also think about the fact that Kamara got 3, and that optics on that were way worse than this.
You're right. We're terrible.
Yeah.
But I think
so. This goes back to that the commissioner and the league have a heavy hand 1 minute and not a heavy hand the next minute.
Yes.
There's unfortunately too much inconsistency, in my opinion, to agree with you on that one, that they're getting better or that this calls for this or this calls for that. I think the fact is that we don't know what they're going to do. It depends on a lot of different factors. But this is also the commissioner's team. This is his baby. This is the golden boy, Patrick Mahomes. So you never really know what's going to happen. But I think because there was no alcohol involved, I think he explains running off the freeway for his own safety. And I'm not saying that that's correct. I'm just saying that he got away with it. The optics of running off the freeway are kind of kind of separated from the situation in a way because that was not a part of the case. Whereas if you or I were to run away from them, there would be cops at our door. So he definitely got preferential. But I'd say this. I'd say that Rashee Rice, it could be anywhere between, let's call it 2 to 6, but I believe it be 2 to 4. And I believe because this is a first-time offense, because to the letter of the NFL policy, the letter of the law for the NFL, it does not require a suspension, whereas domestic violence or alcohol does require a suspension, that we are leaning toward more of the lenient side of the commissioner's heavy hand than the heavier side, just because it doesn't fall in that mandatory space. So we'll see. Anything can happen. I admit that this could be one that I'm off by 2 games, but it's still not that big of an L. I'm just saying I'll admit if I call the number of games wrong, I'll admit it. I'll admit that I said 2 to 4. It's 6. Sorry, but you still win.
You might be 100% right on this. The other thing I've noticed, and then I'll let you go, and I appreciate you very much. And I'm on board with you're lining up perfectly with everything I see on your rankings and player interpretations. But the other thing I've noticed with the NFL is depending on the star quality of the player, the lesser known players tend to get hammered harder.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fact of life, right? The stars get people watching the TV and whatnot. But hey, I appreciate it.
All right.
You guys gave me a flashback to my Friday night poker, the debate you and Ron.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love Ron. Ron knows that there's no hard feelings whenever he calls him, but he was on one today. And Ron, that's the nature of Ron. It's the good quality. Ron's got a good character, and he will go to bat for you. If you need a shirt, he'll give it to you. He'll take his shirt off, hand you his shirt. No doubt about it. That's probably the one guy watching right now that would do that the most. But him
and I are birds of a feather.
Yeah, but it does bring him into a weird space sometimes, because if he feels like he needs to defend something, he'll go overboard and start creating a narrative in defense that wasn't there prior to you triggering some sort of stubbornness in him. And Ron knows he's watching right now, and he's going, Smitty's right. Smitty's right. If you can spark that flame in Ron to get him upset or create some sort of stubbornness, that flame will ignite, and then he'll start creating narratives and getting ammunition that wasn't there, and he'll come for you. And it's not always logical, but it is entertaining, and we love him for it. And again, if I needed a shirt, Ron would give it to me.
I love guys like Ron in my fantasy football leagues because their passions allow me to get gems during the draft, because they're so passionate and locked on and focused on a given lane and a point that it just gives me But I appreciate.
All right, J1, I got you in the system. Call in more often. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Later. All right,
Good luck on your week.
Yeah, thank you. Last phone caller, Jason, you're live.
Hey, is this the Triple H and Associates hotline?
Hold on. Yeah, let me get them on the phone. Let me patch you through. Is this an emergency?
Thank you, sir.
Is this an emergency?
It is.
Okay, but let me let you know, if it's deemed not, you don't get to call on the Triple H and Associates line anymore. Hold on.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and
Hello?
Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
How can we help you, Triple H?
I have my redraft league coming up tomorrow, and I'm trying to figure out how I can play against their biases for their team favorites.
Okay.
So all of them are Cardinals fans, 49ers fans, and Steelers fans. So I'm trying to figure out, if I know people like MHJ are going to come up sooner, how I can play around that, just in like a general sense.
Okay, can I give you a piece of advice? This coming from four experienced associates here. Stop worrying about other people. If you go into your draft worrying about them at all, you're going to draft for them and not draft for you. So just let it go. Don't even think about it. You can't control whether they're going to reach on a player. So if they reach on a player at any point, it's going to create an advantage and shove a player down. And so just go in there, bro, and draft the best player available. You're overthinking this. You're going to end up making and creating a team for somebody else. And that's the worst way to go about it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Send me an invoice.
All right. Will do. Invoices can be paid via super chats. So just drop type invoice paid, $5, whatever you feel was an appropriate answer. In Dynasty, do you like Hampton over Achane or Bucky? Not over Bucky. Probably not over Achane, but there are three damn close players. Hampton's got that kind of appeal, but I'm going to go ahead and say for right now it is Bucky and Achane kind of tied, and Hampton slightly below. Slightly below. Just slightly below. This is the invoice being paid right here. Invoice paid. Thank you. Appreciate you. Acceptable. That was a pretty easy call. $1.99 a minute at HHH and Associates. It sounds about right. So yeah, Chad, if you disagree, go ahead and put your ranking of Hampton, Achane, and Bucky and Dynasty in the live chat for Coble. Let's give Coble more than my take on this. And honestly, this is something I'm going to have to kind of break down and think about later and digest. I mean, Hampton's value in Dynasty, it didn't really change much, today. But we do love him, and he's fantastic. Latest on right now, Slater, who is carted off the field. Nothing new on that. We're still awaiting that situation. What a devastating situation if Slater goes down, though. We got to keep tabs on that. Woo! I mean, if Slater's out for the year, that is awful blow for the Chargers and the topic at hand, So we'll have to play that out. I'll have more of that at 8 p.m. Eastern. Prayers up to Slater. Prayers up to Johnson, and hopefully Johnson's news comes out to be better as well. That both are horrible. Slater, that's crazy. That's really, really, really bad. Really bad. And then of course the CJ Gardner-Johnson probably tearing his Achilles is bad as well. See you all at 8 p.m. or sooner based on breaking news. And then one more super chat from Overcome. Overcome says Bucky, Jacobs, BTJ for Bijan Walker, Garrett Wilson Dynasty. Bucky, Jacobs, BTJ, Bijan Walker, Garrett Wilson Dynasty. Wow. You know what I would probably say, Overcome, is I'd rather have the Bucky, Jacobs, BTJ side if I think I could trade Jacobs and try and get him into a Harvey, try and get him into a Hunter. If you got to give up a pick to turn him into Hunter, I do that. I think at the end of the day, I'll be far more happy with that side if you could just move that piece. It might be hard to do, but if you do a 2-for-1, a pick and Jacobs, you can upgrade them. I think where people get stuck with trading Jacobs or players like Jacobs away in Dynasty is you try and get a 1-for-1, and nobody wants that 1-for-1, it seems. But if you upgrade them, you go get a better player because you're giving two things up. You give a pick and Jacobs. People are more open-minded about Jacobs' value because they also have the pick to lean on. So it diffuses the responsibility of any one piece, and they go, what if Jacobs is... Now I can say what if. I don't have to say Jacobs has to be. Now Jacobs, what if he's a top 5 running back for 3 more years? That's what someone's going to think. So that's the way I would go. I love Bijan. Walker, I love Garrett Wilson, Bijan, and Walker. If I had to pick, I would say Bijan, Walker, Garrett Wilson. But if you could move Jacobs and keep BTJ and Bucky, I kind of like that side a little bit more. But I'm going to say Bijan, Walker, Garrett Wilson in a vacuum. In a vacuum with that question at hand. Thank you very much, Coble, for the super chat. Prayers up. Prayers up for CJ Gardner-Johnson and Slater, who it does not look good for Slater. Everything we know right now, carted off the field. Let me see if there's any updates on this. Joe Milton just looks so good. He ended up hurting his hand. God, that missile by Joe Milton was crazy the other day. I got it on my Instagram. Yeah, no update here. It was a left leg injury. Carted off the field is not good, but it doesn't, we don't know. We don't know anything. Horrible for the offensive line. All right, see you all at 8 p.m. or sooner. Thank you to my super chatters. You guys are magnificent. Magnificent. DTX, Panthers, Skeleton, Viral, Miller, Kirkwood, J1, Box of Juice, J1. I want to know why Box of Juice thinks Ron was right, though. He's like the only one in the whole live chat. I got to agree with Ron here. How many shares you got in Najee, Box? How many shares, Box of Juice? 80% saturation on Underdog of Najee. By the way, Underdog, promo code Smitty. We'll be drafting tonight at midnight. Underdog, promo code Smitty. Hit this link right here. Do it live. Dropping the link now. Promo code Smitty. $10 minimum. We'll be drafting tonight. If you don't sign up now, I just dropped the link. It's pinned in the live chat. If you don't sign up now, you're not going to be able to draft tonight. If you're watching a replay, the link's in the description of any video, including this one, and we'll be drafting, so do it live. What else?
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. Would you give JT in a second for Bucky? Says Ryan. Ryan, you still there? I would take Bucky in a heartbeat. Ryan. Do it live, Ryan.
Hey, Smitty, it's your boy Scott Hansen from NFL Red Zone, and 17 weeks of commercial-free fantasy football start now.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
I've never seen you wide shot there, my dude. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, this is
a poster with Roselle on it and Bill Parcells behind me.
Yeah.
You know, it's not my office, but you gotta hook up there.
Yeah, this is where it's done. We're getting him back on the show here in a couple weeks, hopefully. See you all at 8 p.m. Eastern. Deuce!